Good evening, race fans. Good evening, BSTV fans, and welcome to Magny-Cours, the latest new addition to the tracks on the iRacing service. It's got good reviews as far as I can see. I'm Pete Bingham, and I am your host for this evening. And with me in the booth is Russell Wireth in Cowell again, as always. Good evening, Russell.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Pete.
And no wobbly tonight, Russ. It's going to be nice and quiet. Apparently, he said it's his 40th birthday today, so he's not here, which is been received in positive and negative weight equally, I would say. What about you?
It's time to celebrate, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. There'll be certainly no swearing and no obnoxious jokes. That means we have to restart broadcasts. So. Wherever you are drinking Sebastian with your carer, his carer says it'll be maybe a night off for them as well. Stop him eating crayons, things like that. He's not here. Magny-Cours, Russ, quite a track. We've got 41 degrees. That's quite high for one of our races, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite high temps around here.
Yeah, It used to be an F1 track, this, didn't it? Once upon a time. It's definitely got pedigree. There's some very key corners on here, which we'll do a run through of a lap a little bit later on. But I do believe you've got the stand-ins to hand.
Yep, I do. So we'll go with the driver ones first. And after Silverstone, Stephen Walker is your leader with 703 points. Sam Blease is in second with 605 points. Gary Craig in third with 576 points. In fourth, you've got Spencer McCarthy with 574 points. In fifth, you've got Simon Trendle with 540 points. In sixth, you've got Matt Elmore with 473 points. Seventh is Jamie Wilson with 427 points. Eighth is Chris Needham with 328 points. Ninth is David Ayres with 323 points. Also in ninth, because they're on the same score, is Tony Walker with also 323 points. 11th is Roger Morton with 320 points. In 12th is Carl Hardy with 315 points. In joint 13th, you've got JB Dejoux and Scott Malcolm with 300 points. In 15th, you've got Jason Haddington with 299 points. 16th is Matt Flannery with 289 points. 17th, Andrew Littler with 228 points. 18th is Jamie Jeffrey with 174 points. 19th is Jason Morris with 170 points. 20th is Arnaud Chenanier with 166 points. And 21st is Michael Seal with 92 points. But obviously he only joined us last week.
Yeah, he's done one set of race rounds. Obviously we've got two races tonight. The first is round 13, which is a 20-minute race. And then we've got a 40-minute race following for round 14. A couple of changes tonight. We have he's not in actually. Scott Malcolm has moved cars. He's moved to the Veloster, but he's not here. JB Dejoux has made a questionable decision. Russ, he's gone back to the Audi. Why would you do that?
no one knows.
No one knows.
We all tried to talk him out of it.
Right.
And to be fair, I'm not surprised. He was obviously more comfortable in the Audi. It was the car he's driven for, I think it was 4 seasons maybe before last season, where he went obviously in the Elantra with everyone else because, let's be honest, OP car, everyone went in it. But I think he just feels more comfortable in that car.
Right.
I don't think it'll have the pace every week. It'll have its tracks, like most cars do. But hats off to him, he's gone in the car he feels comfortable in. Most people would just go in the OP car because it's the OP car. So fair play. It'd be good to see how he does in it.
Yeah, definitely. And then a new addition, a teammate to Michael Seal is Jack James. I think he's a teammate to Michael anyway. They do appear to be in different liveries. I think Jack might actually be a teammate to Carl Hardy. Is it Roger, is it?
Is he Roger or Carl? No, it's Carl.
Right, let me find Carl. Yeah, it must be them. Yeah. Okay. So we'll sort out team names at some point. And liveries, of course. So yeah, it's a couple of changes. We're mid-season, you see. So after the 6th round of a 12-week season, we allow our drivers to switch cars in case they find it more comfortable, beneficial, competitive, etc. to switch. And all the Elantras, bar 2, sorry. I think Scott Malcolm was in Elantra, wasn't he? And he's gone to the Veloster, and as we've just talked about, Jamie Dejoux. So we've got some good times on the board, I think. 148.46 is your provisional poll as he goes over the big bumps. Do we want to go on board? You know this track better than I do at the moment, I think.
I've done about 5 laps around here successfully without crashing.
Right, well, let's go on board with someone who might finish a lap. There's Jamie. No, he's not at the end of the lap. Hang on. I need car number 69. Jamie Jeffrey will go on board. So hammering it across the stripe, Russ, and then what? Tip it in here. Oh no!
So you can actually go into that quite. You can go over the green to get a better run through there. Now, one thing I found out very quickly is that you do not need to brake going through that bit because I nearly ended up with a Gary Craig in my back seat when we was practicing.
Really? Okay.
You have to be careful around this corner. You could easily go wide if you get stuck on the gravel. As always with iRacing, you get stuck on there for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And then it finally releases you to go down this very long straight. As I mentioned earlier, this track is very deceiving, so there's a very early break point there, then you go back on yourself.
Yeah, that's the famous Adelaide hairpin, isn't it, from years of old.
And you can actually cut the inside of this curb, which I don't see why people would avoid it, but they do. And then it's a slight break. In my eyes, it was a slight break. Other people might take it differently, to go around here. And this is a very, very long, not massively tight, but it is, again, quite deceiving. You've got to brake more than you would like to. And then you can get the run out of here. Again, long straight, coming up to one of these dodgy corners where you think, I could just go through this flat out. No, you can't. You've got to slightly brake and then let off the accelerator and just let it coast through. Then back onto your accelerator here. And another tight corner here. Accelerate, make sure you hit all the curb, use all the track as Stephen Walker would say. And you can follow, you don't have to sit so tight there. Obviously you can get a lot of speed, and then it's this very dodgy last second to last corner. And then you've got these curbs, which going off what's just happened then, it's very easy to go wide out of them.
Yeah.
And after being told what happened in the officials last night, because a lot of the guys obviously go in and do the officials on the Tuesday, I was told that a couple of our guys gained positions because Sam Blees and Naveed, who also races the officials, is not obviously in here, but we see him every week. He attends, he's very, very quick. He and Sam got a 40-second penalty coming out of that last corner.
That's
because
race defining, isn't it?
And you can imagine what 40 seconds does in the TCR. So they went from being first and second to second to last and last.
Well, that's getting on for half a lap of penalty, isn't it? When you've got a 1 minute 48 lap.
Pretty much, yeah. It's all because if you get an off track in the last corner and you can't serve the penalty, you get slapped with a 40-second penalty. And I've only ever seen that happen to one other person, which was Stephen Walker.
Oh.
He couldn't. Someone pushed him wide out of a corner. He tried carrying it through, didn't realise that he had to serve it before the finish line, and got sent right to the back of the grid.
Right. Okay.
Now, obviously, the guys are going to be very cautious about that now, knowing what happened last night, like those that did the official. So I think we're going to see some very cautious lines for that last corner, because I can imagine after so long, the car will be rattling itself to bits over them curbs.
Yeah, I wonder if you can pick up damage from them. I bet you can.
It wouldn't surprise me, because they are quite big.
Some of the curbs on iRacing do cause undercar damage and things like that. So, let's see. And in terms of teams, you haven't been through the team standings, have you?
Nope, but we can do.
Yeah, let's have a look. I think Geodesic are going to run away here, aren't they?
Well, I'd like to say they were, but they are in first with 1,179 points. However, in second, you've got Spectre 6. Come on, boys. With 1,026 points. So they're only 150 points behind. 103 points. No? Yeah, 150 points behind.
Yeah.
I can't count.
Yeah, that's not
in
too
third,
much.
you've got Team Chimera with 967 points. In fourth, you've got BSTV Esport with 876 points. In fifth, you've got Safeguard by Result with 635 points. In sixth, you've got Result Clothing iRacing Team with 551 points. In seventh, you've got RWC Racing Red with 494 points. In eighth, you've got Spectre 6 Orange with 473 points. Can't count either. In ninth, you've got Ignium Motorsport, which is 300 points, as it's Scott Malcolm on his own. In 10th, you've got RWC Racing Blue with 299 points. 11th is Geodesic Racing White. Again, I think that's Matt Flanagan on his own with 289 points. 12th is CCR, 174 points. 13th is iRace Esports, 170 points. And 14th is Spyro by Result with 92 points.
Awesome. Thank you very much for running through that. Everybody's pulling up now because that is the end of qualifying, and we get dumped straight into the race, of course. I'll run through this quickly, hopefully. I'll try and find somebody on the grid to focus on just in case I get carried away. So, your poleman for tonight is Sam Blease. He did a 1:48.251. It was his last lap of practice. Perfect. Geodesic Racing. Second will be Stephen Walker for Spectre 6. Not that far behind him, really. Third will be Gary Craig for BSTV Esport. Spencer McCarthy goes off fourth for Geodesic Racing. Cal Hardy off fifth for Safeguard by Result. Matt Elmore goes off sixth for Spectre 6 Orange. Seventh will be Jamie Jeffrey, who we were on board with earlier for CCR.
Good luck, everyone.
Simon Trendle goes off 8th for Team Chimera with Jamie Wilson off 9th. Michael Seal goes off 10th with Tony Walker 11th. Jack James off 12th. 13th will be Roger Morton. 14th will be David Ayres. 15th will be JB Dejoux. Chris Needham will go off 16th. 17th is Kylie Haddington. Andrew Littler goes off 18th and last.
I think we're going to see something special into turn one here.
Yeah, I think it's going to get pretty tasty pretty quickly.
Stephen's going to want a good start, and Sam's going to want an even better start. Otherwise, he's going to be a little hung out to dry in the first corner, I believe.
So, no lights on yet. Who are we waiting on? We're waiting on Tony Walker, who's obviously doing some tyre warming strategy where he gets on the grid as late as possible so his tyres are in the best state. Wonder if he's tethered a clutch button.
Probably.
It's probably what he's doing now.
Is.
He's gridded, so we will await lights. Revs are up. Lights are on.
Green, green, green.
And they've gone already, so... Ooh, is that Simon Trendle with a good launch?
We saw two people at the back move before the start as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Ah.
Be interested to see if that happens to give them a penalty or if they manage to stop it before.
Yeah, let's see what happens here at the front. So, Sam's got
Oh,
away.
someone's been fired off.
Oh, yes, it's Jamie Jeffrey. Oh, he's already in the pits. I don't know what happened there. We'll come back to that.
Quick.
It was very quick. Maybe I cursed him by doing the onboard with him. Spencer and Gary side by side, heading it into this tight right-hander here, Adelaide. Ooh, pushing each other around the corner there. JB and Tony, or JB out of shape, I think, under braking or something.
Sorry, Tony. Missed my mark.
That was unfortunate for Jamie. He caught the grass.
Ah, right, okay.
Corner, which obviously threw him straight into a wall.
Oh, dear.
And the reset was all on him. He just managed to get it reset very quickly.
Yeah, that was super fast. I couldn't even get a camera on him.
The car was still moving at the point where he reset, which I didn't think was a thing,
No,
but he went.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I'd like to blame it on the car. That actually was the Indian, not the Arrow on that one.
So we've got a good bunch here around these Chimera cars for some competitive racing. The front's split up a little. We're close back here as well with David Ayres. Oh, we're very close. Let's say. So set off again.
This is the one thing about this track. I reckon the first lap, everyone's going to be in pins with what's coming up behind.
Right.
Because there's two very sharp corners.
Oh, you see Stephen go sideways. Stephen went sideways over the bumps.
Just slowing him down, I think, for Spencer coming through.
Oh, it
Side by
has, yeah.
side.
Oh, he's wide.
Oh,
Oh, he's very wide. Oh, this could end in tears. Oh, he's caught
drifted
it. Wow.
around the corner.
Oh,
as
gravel,
well.
gravel. Wow.
I think he'll be wanting them drift points this week.
Definitely. So, I don't know that anything actually happened. Unless they got together. Well, we're going to have a look now.
I think it was the wide line.
Yeah?
Because you can, like I said, you can go on the green here.
Yeah. Oh, he has. He's just sailed wide, hasn't he?
Yeah, but you've got to get it
Woohoo!
not perfect. As that was, to be fair, for him to keep that is
That's pretty impressive.
only one of the top three in this league could do that. I think the rest of us would have just speared straight into a wall, and Matt's done the same.
Has he? Oh, no way. Oh, and Gary.
Someone else has gone off as well.
That was Gary.
I mentioned this before, didn't I? That this
Did.
track's
Oh,
a bit
three
of
wide.
a-
Three wide.
Even.
This is
Simon,
tense.
I guess. He's got past. Wow,
What's going on? Everybody's firing at the scenery at the minute.
it is one of them tracks that you want to push. As I said before, it's very deceiving coming into a corner. You want to use as much speed as you can, and you're like, uh-oh, too fast.
Yeah, let's just have a look at what happened with the pair of them. Should be able to catch them both in this shot, I would think. Oh, he's a bit further back, Matt Almore.
You want to put as much speed into
he got crushed up,
end.
look. Yeah.
Yeah, the back end went the opposite way, same as Matt. It's literally
Synchronised.
Yeah, synchronised, drifting into a sandpit. Oh, and Jamie just went completely sideways through the ups this time. He managed to keep it.
Right.
The car was swinging back end first.
Has Gary got a slowdown? He has.
It looks like it, yeah, but he's like, I'm leaving my car here. You go.
Yeah.
Oh, and Matt's drifting again.
What's going on? Someone's greased the track.
I think the temps on this track are quite high anyway.
Right. Well, they are.
I don't know what they were. I don't know what they were in the league and the officials yesterday, but we had 42 degrees when Carl put his lobby up, and
Right.
yeah, it was quite fun to watch the first couple of laps.
Sure. Gary does a move there on Michael Seal, and Michael Seal repays the favour straight away.
Oh,
Matt-
you've got flashy.
Yeah, Matt Elmore needs to get a poke in the eye.
Hi, Alan.
Oh,
Alan
Alan.
chat as
Yeah,
well.
good evening, Alan Toon. He's in convalescence now, I think.
Did Gary get?
Well, they're fighting. Oh my God! Look at that, Matt Elmore.
He's just like, I'm coming through.
Yeah.
I want those positions back.
And Gary kind of lost 2 positions in a matter of blinking just then. That was crazy. Chris Needham's looking racy behind now as well. Back at the front, Carl Hardy is staying reasonably close with Spencer, but Sam Blease is checking out.
Fair play to Stephen. He's literally gone from being, I think he was in 6th or 7th, and he's gotten back to where he needs to be, which is chasing Carl down.
Yeah, this mob here now, with all the shenanigans, is quite a tasty place to be watching, I think.
It's going to be quite tasty to see who wants that reverse grid.
Let's see what Gary can actually see. Not much more than the back of Michael Seal's car.
I think at this point now, if everyone stays in the position as they are, Gary will be slightly disappointed in the fact that he managed to get that car where it was.
We gridded it really, really well.
Yeah.
He's away again. He's away again. He's fought it back onto the track, but I think he's going to get mugged here, maybe. No, there's nobody
He's
near
got
him.
clear behind.
Yeah.
Chris probably followed him.
It may well have done, actually, yeah.
See. But they were close,
Oh,
but Chris is coming back now. It's very, very close. These tight corners are just... they're fun. Like, the track is generally fun to drive around. But, as I say, it's scary knowing that there's a car not that far behind you and you're braking really, really hard into a corner.
Yeah.
Especially if they brake slightly later than you. I can imagine it's not going to go down very well.
No, not at all. Where else have we got battles? David Ayres is still behind JB. So JB's doing a good job of keeping him back there. Roger Morton, who has featured quite high, is battling it out with Tony Walker, who has also featured quite high in recent races. They're kind of a bit of a way back here in 11th and 12th.
To me, I think this is a new track for most people, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
I can probably count on one hand how many people bought the track before this week.
Really?
Yeah. I know, like, Stephen bought it, but he hadn't really driven it much.
Yeah.
I think Carl bought it on Thursday last week to try. Did some laps. Gary bought it, and me and Matt bought it on Tuesday. I think Gary said he bought it on Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
So I can imagine a few people have left it till this week to do any practice. And you never really get the same result as what you get in the league, in the actual race.
No. I mean, that's part of the attraction of doing a league, isn't it? You get different conditions to race in. These two are slugging it out here. Ooh, they're all going into the corner together ahead. There's a couple. Well, everybody's fighting everybody all at once again. They don't like commentators, do they?
No, we read. They said like, "Oh, good luck with the race commentating this week. And make sure you get all the action." And I was like, "What? All of the race? I don't think we can unless we have like 15 little screens on the stream for people to watch."
I know. At the minute we've got 4 battles. This is the furthest forward one. Matt Elmore chasing down Jamie. Gary. Oh, he's pulling away actually from Michael and Chris Needham there. And then further back we've got Tony Walker with Roger Morton.
Spencer's starting to slowly pull that gap back on Sam. Now, has Sam done something? Or is he simply pushing that car?
They go flying over those last 2 curbs.
And this is what I mean by sticking wide. I don't know if you saw it then, but Sam was literally over that green line.
Yeah.
And it's clean.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? Oh, that's super wide.
Oh.
That was Michael Seal. Good evening to Gary Walsh on the chat. I would be looking forward to this as well. I mean, it's a new track for the service, obviously. We've said that before. It looks really good, and it's a track that I don't recall it ever being on any of the other racing games / sims or whatever that I've done in the past. Whereas some of the other ones do feature on those. Matt Elmore struggling to get past the Honda.
I mean, being sat behind Jamie in practice, I can understand his pain right now. Jamie was going, this car's got no pace, this car's got no pace.
Yeah,
but he was
slung it under the inside of that, and he's made that work, that's good. Nice overtake.
Jamie's going to want that position as mad as possible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's looking good for the reverse 8, especially for you, Pete, since your teammate's in 8.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But we have got half of this race still to go at the moment. Carl Hardy has been caught now by Stephen Walker, so we'll see what happens there. Move back to this one. So Matt Elmore's he's consolidated that pass now, and he's starting to pull away, or he was a little bit.
He's out bouncing around.
Look at the air they get over those bumps. It's crazy.
Oh, Gary got a bit of a wobble on then.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, coming through the last corner, he managed to get it under some sort of control, if that's what you want to call it.
Jamie Jeffrey has rejoined the race, which is good. Points for everybody.
And Gary. Matt isn't racing tonight. He couldn't get on his rig.
Oh.
He's having to, I think he's babysitting. You can't really babysit when you're the parent, can you?
No, that's called parenting.
Yeah, he's parenting. He's adulting.
Adulting, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and Stephen Walker got past Mr. Hardy.
He did. We saw it from in beautiful Technicolor. Jamie Wilson's not letting this go, and Gary is starting to catch Jamie now. So, again, I think we're going to have some battles that develop towards the end of the race. Chris Needham is on the back of Michael Seal, and then behind you can see Tony Walker and Roger Morton, dueling partners back there.
I don't want to say this out loud just in case Gary or Jamie are watching. If I was them, I'd be sitting cushy right now. Because you know what turns up in race 2, don't you?
Well, yeah, the carnage that we've seen a couple of times.
Well, either that or the wall of the Hondas. Which that means Gary can just tail away and the wall of Hondas can take care of everyone else behind him.
Yeah, that is a good point. The Great Wall of Honda.
Yeah, the Great Wall of Honda. The cars bounce so much through there.
I know, it's
you
brilliant,
do one
isn't
thing
it?
wrong, surely you're going to snap them.
Yeah, I'd have been dead a long time ago.
Let's not talk about snapping suspensions, though.
No. No. Let's not mention Daytona in a bus stop situation. Ooh, that's very fast through there by Gary, and he almost surprised Jamie, I think, because he got round the corner so quick.
Sorry, Jamie, I know that a lot tighter than you do.
It was a really good line from Gary. He's not managed to make it work because he had to get out of the gas and probably on the brake.
Jamie had to get that paper out just to wipe the brown stain that was coming.
Code brown, code. Oh dear. Yeah. This could be. A spinny moment, maybe.
Oh, go on, Kylie, give it us.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh no!
no!
Ooh, God, that's a big impact. It's like they made that bit just for the front of his car, look.
It's a good job they don't feel it, innit?
Yeah. Blimey.
You know, a compensation shot for whiplash.
While Kylie picks his teeth out of his steering wheel, we'll go back to watching Gary trying to muscle his way past Jamie Wilson. He nearly muscled the wheels off the front of his car with that last curve.
Did we miss Stephen getting past Spencer?
Oh, yes, we did. Oh, that's just happened. That's got to be a Spencer mistake from that distance. Oh, sorry. You know when you press the wrong button?
Yeah.
I was supposed to press this button. There we go. This looks standard.
Not like anything.
Oh, Spencer's got to slow down. There's only one reason he would step off the racing line in that fashion.
Yeah. But where did he get it? He must have got it into the
turn.
two slight kinks before it.
Yeah. Gary not making this work just yet. This might be it now, though. Block pass into Adelaide.
Is he going to get the undercut though?
Oh, he might.
This is going to be horrible to watch.
It is, because the next one is the right-left chicane,
It
isn't it?
is
At
the one where
180.
people keep killing themselves. Jamie, well played, mate.
Yeah, sensible.
It's probably worth that forfeit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Great Wall of Honda presumes
Yeah.
its track record started in the top 2 for race 2.
Matt Elmore has now caught Simon Trendle.
Simon's pushing that car really well, to be fair.
He is.
Like week on week,
Yeah.
he's turning up and he's getting it in them positions where there ought to be 12 Elantras lined up in front of him.
Yeah, I know. Kylie's back on track, I think. No, he's out. No, yeah, he's on an out lap, right, okay.
On the pay exit, yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, that was a lot of curb from Simon Trendle. Oh, and that's maybe a little bit of wall.
Just missed it.
He's got to slow down, I would expect, from going that wide. Maybe not.
I think it's the corner before you get the penalty from.
Oh, right, okay. Doing too much of a cut.
Yes. He doesn't seem to have slowed down much over them.
No.
The brown pants moment in the
That's
wall.
a slow-moving Kylie in front, I think. Yeah, letting them go.
They're both past. It's probably a good idea around here.
We're just letting everybody go. I mean, yeah, he's a lap down, I suppose, so he's going to keep out of trouble. Further back. Roger Morton's gapped Tony Walker now and has got onto the back of Chris Needham. Back to this little battle here and the one behind, because that's where most of the action's at. Stephen Walker has just stretched his legs in front of Spencer McCarthy.
Sam's still pulling away though.
He is, yeah. He's doing good laps as well. He's just done his best lap of the race is a 1:48.28. He's just done a 1:48.29. So, if nothing else, he's consistent.
Look at Stevens lap there, 1:48.207.
Ooh, wow.
The closest being Sam with a 2:83 and Spence with a 3:82, I believe.
Yep. They're on screen
Gary's
at the minute.
wringing the neck out of that with a 48.5.
Is he?
Yeah, 48.5 in that car is still good going.
It's a short
Considering-
wheelbase though, isn't it? So it should be more agile than some of these long Elantras. In theory, that's just me.
Yeah, you'd expect that to be the case, but I think the Elantra just throws it round. You can throw the Elantra around corners and it gets grip, whereas Gary's like, yeah, the back end's going to kill me.
Right.
It's more of a gap in the group than I thought there would be. I thought there'd be a few groups close together.
Yeah.
But with the offs we saw at the start, I think a few people have just fallen off that pack. Obviously, Stephen had his big one. And then everyone else has just been trying to manage their position. Matt had one, Simon's had one, Gary's had one. Not to forget.
Yeah.
The two at the start of the race.
True. And evening to Hugo on the chat. Hope you're enjoying what you're watching. Should come and join us.
Afternoon, Hugo.
Oh, this is close. Oh, look at that. He's nearly pushing Michael Seal round that corner there. And Roger's getting well interested now. This is going to come to something very shortly, I would think. Oh, he's got a bad exit. He's got a bad exit. Chris Needham's in there like swimwear. No messing. You are?
Fast if you want, Jamie.
Fair play to Chris for avoiding him, then he could have easily gone into the
Tony. Tony. Code Brown on Roger Morton there.
And that's what I was saying about the early braking moment. If someone in front of you brakes early and you're not expecting it,
Yeah.
game over. Unless your name's Tony and Roger and you both avoid it. Just.
So, some things happened here. So, Stephen Walker had a much bigger gap than half a second a lap ago. His last lap was his fastest lap, so it's something on this lap that's happened. But everybody's battling again. Roger Morton here. Oh, door to door. Hello.
Stephen had an excursion where the pit exit is, and he caught the gravel, similar to what Gary did earlier.
Right, so that's the second time he's done that.
Which closed the gap between him and Spencer.
Yeah, that's going to make for a tasty finish, I think, and we're not far from it, because this will be the last lap, I would think. Somebody's got himself some lead now, 5 seconds. Here we go, and he's over the line, I expect, for a victory. Can't see Barney the flagman yet.
He's out.
Ah, right, yeah, he's on the right-hand side, isn't he?
Yeah. I can see plenty of checking flags from the
Cool. Yeah.
marshals in the post.
Everywhere, so Carl Hardy over. We're quite a quiet race in the end, I suppose.
Freaking aliens.
And hearing Carl call everyone an alien.
Oh, this is crowded. Very crowded. Ooh! I don't know what happened there exactly, but Michael Seal just seemed to stop.
Yeah, I saw the 47.6, but I wondered how much you jumped over the final car.
There's all sorts going on here. Oh, someone... Is that Kylie facing the wrong way there? Crikey. So Michael...
It could only happen to one person.
Yeah, Roger and Michael were swapping positions
Good fun there, David.
right towards the very end there, so we'll have a quick look at this. Bit of excitement at the end of this one.
I think if we would get our slowdown...
Kylie was trying to avoid someone.
Kept up with that pack.
Right.
And spun around.
It's not like him.
180.
I'm shit, mate. I couldn't keep up.
So why were they so close? Did Michael Seal get a slowdown, do you think, and he's had to burn it off before the line? Because if that's the case, then the finishing order is going to be very different.
Oh, he did.
Did he?
He dropped.
Oh, it's gone off my screen now, so I can't do anything about that. All I can do is bring you the results from the first heat.
I can go for it if you want, because I've got the results up here.
Yeah, brilliant. Go for it.
So, in first place, as we saw, was Sam Blease, with a 5-second lead, which was amazing. Alien. Second place, you had Stephen Walker. Then you had Spencer McCarthy in third. Carl Hardy in fourth. Matt Elmore in fifth. Sixth was Gary Craig. Seventh is Simon Trendle. Eighth was Jamie Wilson. Ninth was Chris Needham. 10th is Roger Morton. 11th is Tony Walker. 12th was JB Dejoux. 13th was David Ayres. 14th was Andrew Littler. 15th, which is shocking at the end, Michael must have got a slowdown to put him 40 seconds behind. So Michael Seal in 15th. 16th was Jack James. 17th was Kylie the Spin Haddington. And 18th was Jamie Jeffrey due to an early crash. I think that was on lap 1.
Yeah, so I think some of my team alignment is a bit off, but we'll see. I'll get that sorted out for the next race, hopefully. So, yeah, Magny-Cours is certainly an eventful track to watch, isn't it? It's a bit crazy, to be honest. Very tight corners. Some decent-sized straights as well. I don't think you get much of a toe, would you? But by the time the toe had taken effect, it had kind of expired on you, I would think. But the way that you've got to position your car, I mean, these guys are very experienced and they're getting caught out. I know it's a new track and everything, but how did you find it when you were driving it? I mean, you said to me before we started, you know, you can do a lap and then you can do another lap and it's completely different.
Yeah, you kind of... So, when we was doing the practice yesterday, But I went from doing a really slow lap. Bear in mind, these guys just did a 48. I did a 56 on my first lap because obviously I was trundling around thinking I'm just going to see what the track feels like. The second lap I did after that was a 59, even though I was going quicker than I was the first time because I got lost. So there's very deceiving corners. The first corner coming out the pits, for instance, you think you can go straight across, but there's a big grass verge in front of you.
Right.
So you've got to follow it around. Obviously, we've got the track maps that tell you and help you out nowadays, which you wouldn't have had when iRacing first came out, but luckily we're not there now. So you can follow it around, and then you just get confident in a corner. And then you're on the gravel or in the grass, or you've gone slightly too far over the curb and it's giving you a slowdown. There was a slowdown, I think, where we've just seen Sam go through there.
Mm-hmm.
I got a slowdown yesterday that was only, I think it was a 1.1 second slowdown.
Right.
But I was literally going through the last corner as I got rid of it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
there's no margin then now.
No, because it's a very quick track on the infield part of it.
Mm.
So you obviously powering through the corners, and you get to a tight corner, you're like, right, I can put my foot down now. But that's that 1 second that you've done to go through that corner quicker. It's like, no, I'm going to make your time go up now. So you've got to serve more of the penalty. It's like, thanks, game. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that I'm really interested in, and I didn't try it, was the pit entrance.
Well, it's short, isn't it? Did you see it then?
It's a very short one, and if you mistakenly don't press your pit limiter at the time you need to, I can imagine someone's going to get a slowdown, or even not a stop and go.
Yeah, yeah. And we know that the punishments on iRacing are quite severe for any pit infringement. We didn't cop out for any, did we, at Daytona? We didn't do any naughty stuff, did we?
Not pits wise, no.
No.
I bet you a few teams did though.
Yeah.
You know how many people are racing?
Oh, definitely.
We
So,
spent enough time in the pits anyway.
yeah,
But,
well, yeah, I did. Stephen Walker and Spencer McCarthy, no, it was Sam Blees, I think, have both practiced their pit stops in this little interim session of 5 minutes that we give them for a warm-up. Let's see, nobody's in for an interview, and we wouldn't have enough time now anyway with where we are. But yeah, we've got a few people watching, so if you're watching and you're enjoying what you're seeing, give us a like. It makes us feel all warm inside and appreciated. You can vote for light flashing yes or no, but if you vote yes, I might have to kick you off the broadcast or off the stream. And we've got...
I vote yes.
Right, and this is a key one. So Roger Morton practicing a start. And we've seen a lot of people get caught out with these starts, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned earlier, there was two people that started. They seemed to have let the clutch up. The car jumped forward and they managed to stop instantly.
Yes.
Now, I reckon iRacing has got a small margin, but you're going further forward, and that isn't stopping you.
Yeah. Are you alright to extend gridding while I go through the field?
Yeah.
So, Jamie Wilson will be your pole man. He finished 8th in the first race, where he reversed 8 in this league. He's for Team Chimera, and he will set off first with his teammate, the rest of the Great Wall of Honda, in second place. Gary Craig will go off third, same as he did the first time. Hopefully he won't sail wide in this one. Matt Elmore goes off fourth, Carl Hardy in fifth. Sixth will be Spencer McCarthy. Seventh will be Stephen Walker. And then our race winner from heat 13, round 13, Sam Blees in 8th. Then we go Chris Needham in 9th, Roger Morton in 10th. 11th will be Tony Walker. JB Dejoux will go off 12th. 13th will be David Ayres. 14th will be Andrew Littler. Michael Seal goes off 15th after getting absolutely annihilated by the slowdown penalty. At the end of the last race, Jack James off 16th. Jason Haddington off 17th. And Jamie Jeffrey, who had an unfortunate incident with a wall right at the start of the last one, goes off 18th and last. And hopefully his fortune is better in this race. Let's see. I've already got some decent candidates for driver of the meeting. Something that you probably want to have in your head. Russ, ready for the end?
I don't know who to pick. I might pick who did the most spectacular
Good luck,
crash,
everyone.
to be honest. And we've just lost Andrew Littler.
Oh.
due to packet loss.
Yeah, it's
So
close.
I doubt he'll get in before this race starts.
Well,
Let's go, Carl. Pick up some pies.
if someone waits to the very, very end, then
Tires aren't ticked.
they might be able to delay the start enough for him to join us.
And hearing Matt with his... Oh, where did you go? Did you go to get some pies?
Really?
In the survey, yeah.
Hey, funny stuff.
They love each other, really.
So, do you think we're going to get the same sort of shenanigans with having two Hondas at the front of the field this time again?
Definitely. And to be fair, don't
Lights
blame
are
the
on.
guys.
Sorry.
It's who gets a good
Green,
start
green,
here now.
green.
Right. Didn't see any jump starts. You can see someone slow away at the back there.
Gary got an absolute amazing start there.
Yep. That was a good one. He's not managed to do anything with it. Those two Hondas are still side by side in front of him.
Spencer down the inside of Matt. Matt taking the wide line, you know.
Oh, that's very wide there from Simon Trendle. That's similar to what we saw. Oh, crikey, that's bumpy.
Oh, someone else followed in behind as well.
Yeah.
Got a few position changes there. So Spencer, Stephen and Sam, the three S's of BSTV, got through again. And Gary's gotten past Jamie.
No, not quite. He's away
he's
wide.
gone.
He's gone. He's gone. He's off
gone.
shot.
He's back again.
Don't know why that was a 4, Carl. Sorry.
Lots going on further back in the field, but this is a bit too engaging at the moment. 2x2 into 180. Oh, he's pushing him round the corner there. Gary a bit wide and offline. Opening the door for Sam Please nearly.
Oh, I can hear someone off track.
I can as well, but I can't see who it might be. Oh, it's
He's
David
in the
Ayres. Oh my God, I joined that at the wrong time.
Oh, he jumped over the wall there.
It's not hurdles, David. Right, we'll have a look at that in a minute when we get a chance. Andrew Littler's joined us, so he's on track now, which is good. I think he's still in the pits and just leaving it now, which means he's going to come out in front of this lot.
Oh dear, that's not what you want to do around here either. As you'll see in a minute.
Right, okay. Where is he?
Because he'll be coming out of the pits in the line of fire. Oh,
No,
it's alright.
he's alright. He's behind it all. He's slowed down, actually, in pit road.
It's probably a wise thing to do, considering
Yeah.
all this traffic coming through.
Back here, though, it's getting proper tasty. So, yeah, Andrew Littler joins the back of the field. Shame he couldn't join from the very start. But sounds like his internet or something has gone and betrayed him there. Back at the front, there's overtakes going to happen soon.
Yes. Into the corner. Stephen braking late. Oh,
How did he stop that?
Stop it. How?
How? It's like he hit some sort of invisible wall and it stopped him. What's that about?
Now, who's going to get this line through here?
I'm going to put the camera here so that we can see both of these, because I think Gary's getting a bit... Oh, God, Stephen. You see the car was sideways in midair.
Everyone's getting through here now, though.
Oh! Spencer's off to the races. He really is. He's got 1.5 second
Look at
lead
Sam
already.
getting through as well at the same time.
Oh, I bet Jamie's well annoyed with the lack of acceleration in that Honda.
That was fair play to all three drivers there, because that could have easily ended up in someone being in a wall.
Yeah, definitely. Gary's
And I
lost
don't
out
understand how
there.
Stephen did it.
Gary's got a slowdown or something. He's just ambling through that section. Maybe he's got rid of it now.
Oh, flashy, flashy.
Yeah, Cap needs to do one.
Wind his neck.
Oh, JB! Oh, I joined that at just the right time, watching him rejoin. So he's lost it and gone wide.
I think I figured out what... Oh, and Andy's back in the pits again.
Oh.
He's out.
Oh. Might have been this. This is going to be a nothing thing, isn't it?
I think he's just figured that because of the disconnect, it's probably not worth carrying on.
Oh no, that looks like it's technical. Or is he just...
Oh,
good blimey.
So I think both Andrew and David heard that I said I was going to give it to the most spectacular crash.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that his engine's still running and he's still on the gas would say it's a technical issue and he's going to get binned by the server.
He did Alt F4 by the looks of it because it said client disconnected.
Okay. So, let's go back
Maybe
to
there was a
live
hardware
race in a second. Michael Seal is in the pits now as well. I'm trying to find out what his incident looked like.
It's a very early pit, if anything.
Yeah.
Ooh, Tony Walker's just jumped back 4 places as well.
David Ayres to the pits.
And Matt's gotten past Gary. Cap's gotten past Gary.
Yeah, these guys are scrapping, so I'll leave the camera on these while I try and figure out what everybody else has done. So David Ayres, Roger Morton and Andrew Littler have all had a series of incidents. Michael Seal as well. Tony Walker.
He's now in the pits, is he?
He's now in the pits after this.
Well, Davey.
Oh, is he over the curb? No, he's just sailed it round the curb, no grip and wall. So that's what happened to Tony.
And that's what we were saying about before. You push
Yeah.
that card a little bit extra and you are gone.
Yep. It's very easily done apparently around here. I've never turned a lap. Obviously I own the tracks. You're watching my stream. I've never turned a lap. So David Ayres, Tony Walker, Michael Seal and Andrew Littler, the victims of Magny-Cours round 14 of the TCR Challenge. Season 11. Now Sam Blease has caught Stephen Walker finally. A bit further back. Chris Needham!
Well played by both Simon and Roger to avoid that then as well.
Yeah, and if
It's
any of
sort
them
of
had
hard
tipped
braking.
in, yeah. He's at the back of that queue now. Meanwhile,
Yes.
excuse me. So, has Gary got another slowdown? Is that why he's let Matt Elmore go so much? It's very hard to tell,
I
isn't it?
think that was them battling. Carl was very, very closely behind Gary, but I think Gary was going through that corner much quicker than Matt.
Yeah.
And the one thing you don't want to do around a corner in any of these cars is brake, because it's just going to send you completely the opposite direction.
True.
So I think Gary just took evasive action, which obviously you lose out from the car in front if that's the case.
Yeah, Tony Walker's back on track and had his car repaired, so hopefully he can do some damage control.
Michael's now out as well.
Yeah. Is he?
Out, as in...
Oh,
not come back.
out, right.
Yeah.
That's a shame. He was super fast last week.
Yeah, I think this is one of the tracks that a lot of people are used to the tracks we've had up until now.
Yeah.
If you've done very little practice around here, it is crashes waiting to happen. And I've just realised that we've got 3 people running the same paint, so there mustn't be a team between Jack, Roger or Carl.
No. This is Jamie Jeffrey making his way through on Roger Morton. And they're all catching Simon Trendle. Is that formation flying from those two? Well, one's a Spiro car, one's a safeguard car, and they're fighting with each other at the minute. Roger Morton winning that battle at the moment. I mean, you can see what the track map looks like. Everybody's in 3 little pods at the moment, and then there's 2 stragglers making their way around the track.
You could say they were making their way around town.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sing, don't worry. We had enough of that the weekend.
I know. His is still bleeding. So Gary's caught with Matt Elmore. And in the background there you can see Carl Hardy has found Jamie Wilson.
I still don't know who I'm going to pick for the driver of the meet.
Oh, here we go. This is for the lead. Stephen Walker has annihilated Spencer McCarthy's lead, which can only mean he's had a slowdown on an off track. He did.
Spencer
he went
getting
off
back
track. He is. He's got rid of his slowdown, and these three, which we're going to have to do something like call
We're
them
not
Triple S
flashing
or
lights
something, are back together at the front of the field again.
Oh,
Sorry, JB.
Kylie and JB having a bit of a moment there.
Right.
Right there. That seemed to be.
Was it inappropriate touching?
It was touching. I won't know if it was inappropriate. I think JB enjoyed it, to be honest. I think he likes the company every now and then. Who wouldn't from Kylie either? Spins you around every now and then.
Yeah. Carl got past Jamie. We'll have a quick look at that, because that's literally just happened. That's why I put the cameras on them. Is this Jamie going to go wide, is it? No? Oh,
Same again
wow.
though, isn't it? It's that late braking from the Elantra.
Yeah. Honda just doesn't seem to be capable, does it?
But you can put your car right in front of it and you can't do anything about the car in front then.
Yeah.
I mean, Carl's been showing pace again this season. Oh, flashy again.
Yeah, Roger Morton and Jack James are in the thick of things.
The difference in the line going into that corner as well.
Yeah. We'll just have a look at what happened to Spencer in order to give him, or gave up his lead. Oh, over the bumps, look. Sailed it through, got on the grass.
Right, yeah. He's got lucky again there though with that
Yes,
wall.
yeah.
I think the drivers are generally lucky to get out of that wall with there being a little bit of tarmac before it. If there was grass or gravel there,
Yeah.
that's game over.
Oh, and then as we were watching that replay, yeah, this is what you get for flashing your lights, both of you.
That was a lot cleaner this time.
Yeah, too busy pressing the button, Cap. That's what that is. See?
And he still does it again.
Still does it. He's not learning. Jason Haddington and JB still going at it back here. Everybody's at it as we're watching
Max
replays.
got back ahead of him as well.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, sorry, no.
Thought he switched again. Yeah, this is the one. Oh, it's not.
No, this is a later
previous
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those two are going to be intimate all night by the look of things. Right, I think we've caught up with all the shenanigans and goings on. So, ooh, here we go though. That's a slowdown for Stephen Walker. And that split up the front three just for a moment. Jamie Jeffrey has now found the wall of Honda. Less effective that those two Hondas making the block this time because Simon lost it very early on, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Jamie Jeffrey's connection not doing him any favours at the moment either.
You don't really see that often from Simon.
No.
Again, it's one of them tracks you get excited. You push it too much. It doesn't tend to like it when you push the car too much, but Stephen's right on the back of Sam.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, and
Let's see what these guys do.
a little bit further back, these guys are threatening to get back together and start battling again.
And then both Matt Camp and Carl are racing for the finish line for that pie.
Yeah.
One of them's going for a kebab, should I say, and one of them's going for a pie. That's why he was flashing his lights. It's one flash for a doner kebab and two flash for a pie.
So, closest battle at the moment is this one, Matt Elmore and Carl Hardy.
Stephen just getting loads again.
He did, yeah. It must be a certain corner.
It's going through turn 1. I think there's multiple lines.
Yeah.
He's paid the price coming out.
Turn 1.
Slightly off.
Yeah, turn 1's a famous corner, isn't it? Is it Estoril? Something like that. Now here they are, Adelaide, making their way down to 180, which is all through these little twists and kinks. So these guys are back together again. 4 seconds between these three and Gary Craig. And Gary's the first non-Elantra. So he's proven that the Veloster is competitive to a point.
You did get it right for that corner, by the way. It's called Estoril.
Ah, right, okay, cool.
The one thing I found really confusing about this track is that it's got several places named after tracks.
Right.
It's got a corner, it's got the infield part is called Nürburgring, and it's got Imola.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Which I presume is just because it's slightly similar to the
turn there, maybe, yeah.
At Imola. But to get me to say any of the others is just a crime, and I won't do it.
Is it all French?
Yeah, and they've got one corner called Chicane. I like that one. I can say that one.
Right. Whoa, that's lots of air from all three of these guys. Stephen's really getting close to the back end of Sam's car now. Back here again, Chris Needham. He has spurts of speed, doesn't he? And he's caught Roger now. That's a nice line through there as well from Chris Needham. If he can just woe it up a bit.
He's had to let off there so he didn't hit the back end of Roger, but it was still a very good line. I mean, we've asked these guys now, this is what, season 2 of it just being the TCR?
Yeah.
We've got to remember, like, some of these people that are in the TCR
now.
Yeah. We give him a slight nudge. Fair play, he stopped.
Yeah.
But let him compose himself and went back again. Although, seems like Roger just got through it.
He was just like, I'm off. See you later.
Yeah, see you in a bit, mate. Like Chris, you've got the likes of Jamie and Simon. Can't think of anyone else. Jason was in between both TCR and GT4, but these guys came from GT4 straight into a TCR. I think they've covered that quite well. Yeah,
they've done really well, to be fair. I mean, Chris Needham's an ex GT4 champion. It might be that front wheel drive isn't his first choice, but he's very good at it.
Hearing them three cars go over that corner at the same time, it's crunch, crunch, crunch every time.
And Gary's got himself a nice handy gap now, as Carl Hardy gets it all squirrely behind. So he's got, I mean, he's 4 seconds to Stephen, which is quite a long way on a track like this. But he's got 2.5 seconds back to Carl Hardy behind him, who's got Matt Elmore for company again.
Apart from Gary, who's running around on his own, who was only a 10th off Spencer's time, both Sam and Stephen did a 48.2. Sam set the fastest lap at a 48.214, and Stephen was shortly behind with a 2.61.
Right.
It's 6 tenths quicker than everyone else in the field, apart from Gary.
It's very close, isn't it? Up at that pointy end. And this is the pointy end here.
Who are they coming up against, though?
What, just ahead of them?
Yeah.
I think it's Tony Walker.
Oh, it's Tony, yeah. How rude of me not to recognise my own painter. Andrew's back out on the field after that massive crash we saw? Or is it lying to us?
Andrew, which Andrew?
Littler.
Yeah, he's back on track. He's had his car fixed with the fast repair. So he's back in the race. His points.
Fair play for him to going back in.
Oh yeah. I mean, on a track like this where people are, having trouble.
We're hearing someone pit. Jamie Wilson.
It is Jamie Wilson. So he's the first of the scheduled stops. Is this early? No, it's exactly halfway. Exactly, yeah.
He's got something up his sleeve, I'm guessing. Oh, we've had a few come in now. Chris.
Kylie.
Kylie's coming in to stop himself from getting that spin.
Yeah, look at his rear brakes. They're like white hot.
Most people only warm the tyres up on the first lap. Yeah. Kylie does it in 20 laps. We're on lap 12 and he's still warming the tyres up.
I'd have thought these two would have resolved the... Oh no, was he chasing Jamie Wilson before? No, he wasn't, was he? He was chasing Simon. So, Jamie Jeffrey here. He's racy, isn't he? He's got it. He just needs to get it all tied together.
Yeah, I think obviously we've had a few shortfalls in the drivers here, but he's definitely got something. He's got his bit between his teeth, and he definitely wants to gain positions every week.
Yeah,
what we've seen so far. I think he got unlucky. Was it last week where he had a few incidents?
Yeah, he did.
But if he manages to keep it clean, I can't see why he wouldn't be battling with these in the top 6 or top 8 every week.
No, he's definitely got that racecraft and the ability to make the car do what he wants it to, for sure.
However, if you make it a fixed tune, Pete, like everyone will be in the top 6.
This is true, yeah. 15 cars and all in the top 6.
Yep.
Dan 80. Good evening to you. Hello.
I believe that is Mr. Mould.
Is it Dan Mould? Right, okay.
I believe so.
Why isn't he racing? Too busy doing his own little league, isn't he? That's the thing.
We're not racing.
We're not racing. Roger Morton in the pits.
Hey, Dan.
And Tony Walker in for a scheduled stop as well. There's lots going on at the moment. These three are still together at the front here. Spencer, Sam and Stephen. Further back, Matt Elmore is still chasing down Carl Hardy. They do need to get a room. We see these two racing together each week. As Jamie goes sideways through the chicane there. That was very stylish. Don't know that his tyres would agree with that strategy, but we'll see.
Really tight with these three up top again, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's like a game of chess again, isn't it, with these guys? Not in any way boring. It's all about who wants to lead. That's the thing, isn't it? Who wants to lead?
Did I ever sleep through a part of this? What happened with Carl and Matt?
How do you mean?
I'm going to right.
Well, Carl is...
Matt messed up a corner and Carl sailed straight through.
I did fall asleep.
It's alright, I do it all the time. The next track after this one, it couldn't be more different, I don't think. It's Brands Hatch Indy, which is the short version, as Jamie Jeffrey enters the pits, along with David leaving the pits.
Why would you do that to us, Pete? Why would you make it Brands Hatch? All I'm going to hear all week is how much that track's terrible.
That's not Donington.
Oh no, we love Donington.
Yeah.
All our team love Donington just because Wobbly hates it.
Yeah.
I mean, no, because we love it. Generally, we did actually love it before Wobbly came along and tried to ruin the track for us. But Brands Hatch, I don't get on with it. I know Stephen it's not one of his favourite tracks.
Right.
To say. He can still be quick around there. And then you've got Matt, who I'm going to throw it out there and say I picked him in a qualifying for a league race a couple of seasons back,
Big
around
game's out
there,
of there,
by
boo.
2 tenths, and I got through and he didn't,
Thanks, Andy.
and I never let him regret it.
Right. That's a let go, it looks like. There's no way you'd stay that far left if you were JB Deju and you wanted to keep that position. And these two, again.
He used to, racing for that kebab and pie.
I know. Going for the fattest driver award, aren't they?
Just say something like that. I was going to say the widest car award goes to.
So JB sets off after Jamie Wilson. So we've still got half the field haven't pitted yet. Some of the field have pitted more than once.
And Matt goes in.
Yeah, he's in. Manages to
Keep
avoid
saying
the
Matt.
walls.
I still find it weird calling him Matt, but
I'll just call him Cap then, but...
no one's going to be like, who's he talking about? There's no
Yeah.
cap on the field.
First of the Hondas is in with Simon Trendle at the wheel.
Bear in mind, Jamie
God, they're
has
not
pitted.
stopped long.
No, but Jamie has pitted, so where's he going to come out here? Is he going to come out ahead of Simon or behind? Ahead. And JB goes
Yeah.
and pits as well.
Oh, yeah, good point.
So that means Jamie Jeffrey going to catch up to the back of Simon?
He may do here. I mean, they were scrapping before the pits.
He's come out quite a considerable amount ahead of him
yeah.
now.
No, it's behind him.
Yeah, what I mean is
Simon
has
yeah,
come
yeah.
out 2 seconds ahead of him.
That just may be fastest on to pit road, I guess, or something like that. Pit stops really can separate races up. So
I think that's what we're going to see up front now. Is one of these is going to have to break this pit.
you wouldn't
first.
want to be pitting on a pit lane that short on the entry phase. You wouldn't want to pit as a group like this, would you? Because it's dangerous.
You wouldn't want a car in front of you. You want to
No.
be as clean in as possible because it's such a. As we saw Sam on the practice lap on the 5-minute cooldown.
Yeah.
It's literally you're in, and you're on that limiter straight away. If there's a car in front of you,
Crazy.
and you hesitate, oh, Spencer's in.
Yeah.
So now it's who breaks first out of these two.
Well, Gary has taken the advantage to do this as well. So I think that Spencer and Gary had the best advantage if they were all going to go in, but they didn't. So that means that Sam Blease now has an open pit lane to drive into on this next lap if that's his choice. I don't know that Stephen hasn't had a slowdown again.
It doesn't matter, mate. Let me run.
It's not showing us being off track or anything, but look at the gap.
I think he just went wide into that turn one.
Right.
I'm not going to try and pass you even if I catch you, buddy, so don't panic.
Is that Matt Elmore in again?
What's he done?
Jimmy, you can hear
It's
me.
Matt Elmore in again.
He's
Do me a favour and check the incidents, will you? Well, that'd be a drive-through though, so it's not that.
He's only on one incident point.
Right. So it's not that.
He's on his way out.
Did he get a speeding penalty?
Please tell me he didn't forget to put fuel in.
Well, Matt Flannery on the chat says, did he take enough fuel on a 5.5 second stop? The answer, we think, is no.
No. I would go and ask him, but the
Good.
guy's obviously concentrating, but we'll
Yeah.
find out at the end.
Good call, Matt Flannery. Obviously, we'd prefer you to be on the track racing rather than parenting and helping us with our two brains with the power of one. Right, so Mr. Blease has entered pit road and been followed in by Mr. Walker.
I think because of the gap Stephen had behind him, that was probably the wise choice.
Yeah, I'm intrigued as to where they're going to come out in terms of Gary.
Well, these two should have the shortest pit time now, given they did an extra lap.
True.
There's less fuel to go in.
Yeah, because they were the ones following
difference
Spencer
again,
around,
though.
weren't they?
Stephen's lap pit stop was 0.5 slower than Sam's.
Hang on. Is Sam going to come out?
ahead of Spencer. Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
And yeah, that must be fuel
Steven's
saving.
not just behind Stephen. Well, I say just behind, 2 seconds behind Spencer. I should say.
And Gary, I think, is one of the biggest winners there because he had like 4 seconds to Stephen at one point, and now he's got that down to 2.7. David Ayres is in the middle of it all here. So everybody's fragmented up apart from Roger Morton and Chris Needham. Chris Needham's obviously been polishing the front of his car on the back of Roger's earlier. We saw that. And Sam Blease is already all over Spencer. Or hang on, was that Spencer passing Sam? It was.
Spencer.
I thought that was the wrong way around. Yeah.
Yeah. You get a slowdown.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Did he get a slowdown? That's because he bypassed half the track. But he shed it really quickly and very sensibly into a corner, which is apparently what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, he meant to do it somewhere on track. But this is the corner I said to you about. So if he'd have carried on going, it would have just, with him being in tow, it would have just increased all the way up here.
Yeah.
And then he would have had to serve it later anyway, which is probably a little bit more dangerous around these corners because they're a lot quicker than the corner that he was at. So yeah, it was well played by him to stay on the inside as well.
Yeah.
Quite clever.
Sam looks like he wants that lead back though. It's very late on the brakes.
Time again, haven't we? These two,
Yeah.
although they're teammates, they very much act like teammates, but at the same time, they're always up for, I want to win. And they enjoy that battle, even if it's throughout the whole race, and Spencer pulls out some sort of magic pit stop strategy. Which we've not seen yet this season.
No. Not yet, anyway.
We need to see a Spencer McCarthy special, where he pits on like lap 2 and wins the race.
Well, we did have that last season, didn't we? Did we have it earlier this season? I can't remember.
No, I don't think we've had one this season, but we
Right.
have had. We thought we was going to see one a couple of weeks back, but that one he did. I can't remember what it was, but he pitted so early. We were like, "What? Why has he gone in? He's never going to make it to the end." Next thing, it's end of the race, and he's in first. It was like, "Oh."
Thanks, Dave.
You're welcome.
Chris
He was letting all the guys through now as well.
Yeah, Chris Needham's choosing some very good lines through some of these corners. He's just not able to do much in terms of getting alongside Roger Morton. I mean, Roger's game has been upped massively. He's, this isn't reflective of his normal racing position, actually, this season. He's usually further up the field this time because there's something changed in his game.
We're Nick Powell from Gary, right?
I'm not going to say it, but it's the OP car. Yeah, I mean, previously Roger's been in the Honda.
Yes, he was in the
how
Honda, yeah.
We know how that feels for even guys that are quick. And that's not to say Roger's not quick, but look at Simon and Jamie. Like, they are, at the least, top 5 drivers, aren't they?
Oh yeah, I mean Simon's multiple winner of the of the league, so you know.
I mean, given that you've got Spencer, Sam, Wook, Jamie, and Simon, I'd say they would be fighting for top 5 positions in the Elantra.
Yeah.
So the fact that Roger's now out of the Honda, giving himself a bit of a fighting chance in a car that can drive around the track without too much issue. I wouldn't say there's no issue. I think he's giving himself that bit of a fight that he needed. And like you say, we're seeing it week on week, except for this week, where it's just a tough track. I mean, we've seen the same from Tony, and look how he ended up in a wall. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But, a lot of them are learning this track. Oh, he got really close to the back end of him then.
I didn't even realise I was on like replay from like 2 or 3 seconds back, so back to live racing again. So you can see all the times in the screen. Yeah, it's a bit wide from Spencer. Stephen Walker's not getting any nearer just yet, not really. Although his previous lap... Oh no, his previous lap was slower. You're right about Gary Craig. He's the only one in a non-Elantra doing Elantra times. There's lots of grass from both of them, wasn't it?
I mean, Gary's... Seen the times Gary was doing yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before in practice, and I believe he did alright yesterday times in the official.
Yeah.
So I think his track time is reflective of where he is today on track. He's pushing that car, though. He must be on the limit. I mean, there's not many people that would say I didn't drive the car to the limit, because the whole point is that you drive it to its limit. But
yeah.
The fact that he's got Carl, who's definitely got pace. I mean, we've seen Matt have a double pit for some strange reason, which I'm sure we'll find out later why.
I think the reason is it's a picnic.
As GA, he wanted that kebab.
No, problem in chair, not in computer.
Oh, I like that one. Oh, these two were side by side through there. That was very, very close. And this is what I mean by these two. Like, they are teammates, but they will race to the death.
Yeah. And Stephen really has chopped that lead in half now from these two with that little incident. Just that there took a second or more now out of the time that they had over him. But they'll be loving it, won't they? This is what they turn up for, racing like this.
They do not care whether they finished first or last as long as they get a race like this. Everyone in the league does, but these three are, I don't know. We like to call them aliens, but it's something beyond that to me.
Yeah. We got some. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, good. You good?
I was just going to say we've got some gaps forming in the field now, which we see each race. They'll all be back together by the end. I thought Sam Blaze was going to spear the floor with the front of his car, then he was that high in the air. You can see Gary in the background. He's just keeping it there, isn't he? Just keeping it there.
And the good thing about these three is they're dead supportive of other people in the league.
Yeah.
They'll happily help talk through issues that people have having. Like Sam and Spencer between them, for years has been telling me I'm absolutely rubbish at tyres. And the last couple of seasons, like I've been asking all three of them tips on how to reduce the tyre usage. It was working. I was starting to see an improvement in some of it, but it depends on the track.
Yeah,
And whether I go to my old style, because it's hard to get rid of the
years
that I've been driving wrong to then get these guys in my head to say, right, that's what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I don't think they'll tell you the top secret, which is how they get so quick, which is all the macros they use. But they're definitely all three of them are very happy to help everyone in the league. They'll share tunes. They'll give each other tips. They'll even tell people how to go faster for a corner. And it's like, well, you've just taken away your only advantage.
Yeah.
And they even talk to each other about it. And I'm like,
right.
Stop telling them what to do. Like they're beating us. We need to beat them. Like all the lads have a laugh and say to Spencer, "Don't turn up this week. We want that position."
Oh, as he tries. Whoa!
Oh!
Woohoo! And look who's here. Stephen Walker on the scene straight away.
He's going to be loving seeing this in front of him. Just like, that's going to be me getting a position in a minute if these two hit each other again.
I mean, Spencer properly parked it on the apex of that corner.
Ooh, all three of them are close through there. And we must be getting into the last lap.
Yeah, getting close to it. Yep, that is the last lap. I can see Barney waving the flag. Right, so that's why they're getting so racy. This is it now. That's a lovely line from Stephen Walker. That was brilliant. He's going to lose it on the exit, though. Oh, and who's that?
Oh,
Spencer's gone really wide. Has he kept it?
Sam's gone through. He has kept it, but Sam's got through. Look at this now. Sam's going to have to brake so late, otherwise Spencer gets on his inside, and then that's another position. Switch over.
Yeah. Is he late on the brakes enough at Adelaide? No.
Oh.
Stephen's going to be gaining on both of them because they both took quite a sharp, acute line into there. Even Gary's closed by about half a second in the last lap.
Jamie Jeffrey did get past Simon, and he's now running up his arse as well.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah. Sorry, that was just a few minutes ago. It's difficult to look away from this, though.
Yeah.
Spencer now in second place. Sam in the lead at the minute. Getting himself a little bit of a gap here. He's
Spencer's must be pushing that car again to see if he can get the time back.
yeah, Stephen's not managing to get to where he needs to be with Spencer.
Or was that a multi-21 moment?
I don't think so.
These guys, I don't think these guys
know how to do that. Yeah.
No.
And that's it. That's Sam Blees over the line.
Sam, isn't it?
And then Spencer in second and Stephen rounding out the podium there.
I'd
think-
love to have seen how close that would have been at the end.
Yeah.
Spencer didn't go off.
Good result for Gary and for Carl Hardy. Carl Hardy finished fifth. The Hondas came through in sixth and
I had the choice
eighth.
of picking a new car this week, so I picked a new Veloster.
Still got some on track and racing, obviously. Little flashy light man is over in 10th. If he'd flashed his lights less, he'd have done better.
Can I give multiple people the drivers of the meet?
No. That's why it's such a difficult decision.
I've got like 4 people that I can think of that deserve it.
And I'll tell you what, Andrew Littler, after all his troubles and woes, still racing.
5 people.
You got 5 people you want to get.
Yeah.
Well, you can only have one.
I'm going to give it Matt Flannery. Just to wind you up, like, I'm going to
Yeah.
give it Michael. There you go. So it's 19 laps down, but well done, mate.
There we go. Andrew Littler, last car over the line, but he's finished. So, hats off to him. A troublesome night for him with disconnects and stuff. So, everybody piling around here to the end of the race. But you can't argue with the competitiveness of the 3 that have featured week in, week out, can you? Just brilliant. I mean, how they didn't take each other out, I've no idea. Yeah, results should be in, shouldn't they?
Yes.
So go for it.
Do you want me to go on then? In first place, we've got Sam Blees again, second win of the night. In second, or very close second, we've got Spencer McCarthy, closely followed by Stephen Walker. So the 3 S's taking the lead again. Gary Craig in fourth. Fifth was Carl Hardy. Sixth was Jamie Wilson. Seventh was Jamie Jeffrey. I lost what number I was up to then. Can't even count to 10. 8 was Simon Trindle. 9 was Jack James. Brilliant race for him this afternoon for the second race of the night. 10th was Matt Elmore. You darted in for a quick pint and a kebab. 11th was Roger Morton. 12th was Chris Needham. 13th was JB Dejoux. 14th was Kylie. 15th was David Ayres. 16th was Tony Walker. 17th was Andrew Littler. And unfortunately, 18th was Michael Seal after an early finish.
So, yeah, I mean, Geodesic boys have done very well tonight, haven't they? Sam, is that a double victory for him?
Yes.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. Not quite that for Spencer.
All 3 of them got all 3 podiums again.
Yeah. They
The
just
only
shuffled
position
it
that was
about a bit,
switched
didn't they?
Was Spencer and Stephen
Yeah.
switching positions for race 2.
So, I'm just going to do a bit of what I normally do. Find the beginning of the race. And I'll just get rid of that. And then I shall bring in the first of our interviewees. Once I click this button, there we go. So, Sam Blees, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, mate. How are you?
I'm sure you are. I'm very well. It's been a hectic and exciting Magny-Cours from a viewer's perspective. And you must be loving it because you've you've maxed out your points potential for the race.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think I needed the fastest lap in the second race and less incidents, but apart from that, it couldn't have gone much better.
Oh yeah, Stephen Walker picture. I didn't even see that happen.
Yeah,
he's
we were too busy fighting at the end to go for a fast lap.
I mean, there's no racing rules for your team, is there? It's just get on and try and win it. We saw you get very intimate with Spencer when he parked it on the apex of one of the corners. I don't know which one at the minute.
Yes, yeah, he did it a couple of times. I ran into the back of him a bit, but yeah, that was quite. There was a more serious bump and a less serious bump. But nothing bad happened from either of them. So
and then he sailed it off into the kitty litter a little bit and managed to save it, which is a miracle.
All three of us nearly went.
Right.
Stephen went behind, and I was only about an inch from doing exactly the same thing as those two.
You three are completely separate from the rest of the field now, aren't you? We see you battling at the front, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing boring about it. It's absolutely nail-biting stuff each week. And especially the way that the league is at the moment, because you've not raced a week, Spencer's not raced a week. You've both had a couple of dodgy races and got caught up in other people's incidents. We had the Great Wall of Honda last time out, which caused some shenanigans.
The Great Wall of Honda nearly every round. It's almost traditional now.
Yeah. But tell us about your races. Tell us about this track, because obviously it's the first time a lot of people have been here. You've obviously done a fair amount of laps, and those curbs at the end of the lap are just brutal.
Yeah, I really like it. It's a fun track. It's quite technical. There's a lot to learn. You can't just turn up, you can't just rock up and be quick. You need to get a good few laps on the. I mean, as you saw, normally Spencer can turn up and just win a race on no practice at all. But it took him the sprint race really to get used to it and get up to speed. So it does take a bit of learning. It is pretty technical. It's good fun. I quite enjoy lapping it. It is difficult to overtake, but not impossible. So it's quite a nice balance there as well.
Yeah. Was it the first race? Did you go sailing off into the Blue Yonder, or was that Spencer? I can't remember.
That was me.
That was you.
Yeah.
Because I was like, where's he going?
Oh, right. No. I went sailing off into the distance a little bit because Stephen got caught up fighting behind and Spencer wasn't quite up to pace yet in the first race.
Right. Who was it that went sailing off into the kitty litter at the first race, Russ?
Oh, Stephen did that.
Oh, was that Stephen? Right,
on about lap 2 or 3, he went off and Gary got past him, and Carl, he was running 5th, I think, for a while.
Yeah, no, that is right, yeah. And because there was a few people did that in the first race.
I can imagine, yeah.
There was nearly some repeats in race 2. It's such an entertaining track, though, isn't it? I didn't realise it was so dynamic.
It's good fun, and the curbs at the end, you just have to launch the car on them. And 9 times out of 10, it's fine. But 1 time in 10, it does spit you off a bit onto the grass and stuff. Haven't managed to break the car on them yet, but it feels like it should. It's very, very violent to drive. Your wrists hurt with a direct drive quite a lot. But it's good fun.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's done your championship standings no harm whatsoever. Obviously, Geodesic out there head and shoulders and everything else ahead of Spectre at the moment anyway. But anything can happen in this league. We've seen bigger gaps rather disappear quite quickly for other teams and other racers. I mean, yeah. What separates you and Spencer from the rest? Is it pure ability? Is it the amount of practice you do? Is it setups and how good you are with those? I mean, Russ was saying you two freely share your setups with the rest of the league and lots of advice to everybody else. But you are the class of the field, aren't you?
I think the three of us, I think I'd put Steve in there as well. We're all about the same pace most of the time, and you get a track that suits one of us, and we'll have a bit of an edge. But on average, maybe Spencer a tenth or two ahead of me, and then me and Stephen are pretty close. There's not a lot in it there. I think I don't think there's any one thing I could point at. I think there's certainly for me, this is the only car I drive. It's the only car I can drive. I can drive all the TCRs, but I can't do rear wheel drive at all. So I'm never relearning. I'm never repracticing. I know the car, and I've been doing this for years, so I've got lots and lots of practice. And yeah, it just comes down to time. Like, because it's a new track, I had to put a bit of time in over the weekend. But usually, I come in on Monday and do it there. Yeah, with the other guys, I don't know. I mean, Spencer doesn't do as much practice as me or Stephen for sure. But I think he just is naturally that bit quicker. And he's done a lot of real life racing as well, so I guess he's got that feel for the car too. But yeah, I mean, setup wise, like you said, we'll share all the setups we do. There's not. I don't feel these cars are overly sensitive to setup. I think when you've got a set that works for you, if you just drive it everywhere, you'll do all right. A few changes. You might change the wing for Daytona and stuff like that. But really, when you're comfortable with a car, until you're absolutely maximising what you can get out of that car, which it's very unlikely that you are, you don't need to change the setup. You can keep using that setup, and more laps will be more beneficial than changing the setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's only when you get really comfortable that you are maximising what you can do. I think that the setup comes in. But yeah, we'll always put the setups up if we're doing anything different with them.
It's good because it makes a good community, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's happy. It's always good fun to help people out, and if anyone has questions, it's always nice to see what we can do. And I mean, you see the people like JB and Matt Flannery and those guys have done a lot of racing with us, but also done a lot of practice with us. And it's nice to see, those people getting faster through racing in the league and all that stuff. So it's a good community and good stuff to be around.
Yeah, well said. Anybody you want to have a shout out to before we let you go and celebrate with some, I don't know, simulated champagne or something?
I've got a real thing, hopefully. Thanks to BSTV, to both of you guys for hosting and commentating. I look forward to watching the replay back tomorrow. Spencer and Stephen, as always, for a good race. And Spencer in particular for just parking it on the Apex today.
Yeah, awesome stuff. We'll see you at Brands Hatch Indy next week. Sam Blease.
Oh, nice. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bye, Sam.
So, for your interview pleasure, Russ, we're going to bring in Spencer McCarthy, who I think did he finish second in both? No, he didn't, did he?
Third.
Third and second. There you go. Over to you.
Yep.
Good afternoon, Spencer.
Good evening, indeed.
How's that rear bumper of yours?
It's all right. It's got some markage. I think there might be some scuff. But no, it's fine. I literally had to do everything. I tried to get as many tricks out of the book as I could tonight to hold on to that. It's good fun. Still kind of learning the track to sort of start with, and sort of where you can kind of monster the curves where you can't. I don't know. It enough hurts your wrists if you monster that final chicane too much.
So I take it practice and qualifying was the first time you managed to get any decent.
No, I'd done about 5 laps the other day. So that was it, and then into practice. But I think I'd kind of worked out. Obviously, on those 5 laps, I did kind of like 2 sets of 3 for some reason, because I went in and changed the set, and I kind of thought, okay, well, this one feels okay. I can get into the 49s quite quickly on like my first flying lap. So I thought, well, normally in the TCI, the times will come down a bit anyway from that. So I thought it's not too bad, and we just see how we get on. I kind of almost used tonight as well that I should try and keep up my doing the officials as well this season. So it was kind of almost a good excuse to get to know the track as well in the league, which was good.
Yeah, and obviously you qualified 4th. How was your start? I can't remember.
Yeah, both not too bad. I jumped pretty much Craig, Gary, Steve off the triple first namer he is, off of the line, or nearly off the line. I kind of got a decent run and then sort of, took it around the outside, I think, around the next couple. So managed to get a decent run on the back straight, which then got me into third place proper. And then just tried to stick with Sam and Steve. Steve had a bit of a slowdown, I think, quite early on, or had a bit of an issue, so I jumped him. Actually, no, I had a little look at Steve through the inside of turn 2, actually, that's what it was. And but there was no contact or anything. I think, he knew I was there, he gave me space, but I think the tyres weren't fully up to temp at that point, and he then sort of drifted wide a bit, and then lost it as it went the other way again. So saw him sort of doing some gymnastics behind me, which was quite fun. So then just sort of get my head down and tried to follow Sam, really, who was just on fire, really. Nothing more I could say about that. It was just, he owned it tonight.
And then obviously you had the reverse top 8 in the feature race. You started 6th. Again, you've already mentioned the start, which was a decent start. We thought there was going to be the Great Wall of Honda again.
Yeah.
But Simon had a bit of an he had an excursion through the first corner, I think it was. Second corner?
Yeah, just understeered off, trying to get the power down through there. It's a tricky one, isn't it? When you're sort of trying to get the power down on such a long corner like that, when the tyres are so cold. Yeah, if you put the power on too early, the thing will just start drifting sideways at the front end. So you've got to just aim the car where you need to as early as possible, and so you can get the best run. And yeah, I don't know, it's playing with cambers, playing with all sorts to try and get that early traction. And yeah, the car seemed to be okay, whether that's an Elantra thing or a set thing. Probably is more the Elantra thing than, especially on the Hondas, they do struggle, I think, on those early stages. So yeah, he just kind of disappeared left. Jamie got a drive out, and then going into the hairpin, I got both of them, I think. Well, nearly got both of them, actually. Jamie defended going into the next chicane, but nearly got both coming up the chicane.
So I think you got them straight after that, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then you pitted. I think you was one of the first front of the field to pit.
Yep.
If I remember rightly. You I think you was in first at the time, wasn't you? You had Sam and
I wasn't,
and then Sam behind you.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to eke out the extra lap. It was close to being the extra lap, so I could have probably done it, but I was just so focused on trying to drive the thing around here that I was ignoring the fuel to a point, just set what I needed. And I just thought, I assume Steve and Sam are saving a bit behind, and we'll try and worry about that later. For me, it was all about trying to get up to speed with the track, and before I could really think about how I was going to actually try and win a race, I was, I've got to get somewhere near the pace, right? So, and I got close, but I think Sam was he's already learned a few tricks of the track, I think, especially around that last chicane. Definitely kind of on that last lap, he monstered through there, and I was like, Jesus Christ, where am I going to go to put the car to stop him? It was just it's quite funny.
And then obviously towards the end of the race, we just saw all three of you just bumper to bumper, driving as hard as you can. I was explaining to those watching that you guys don't tend to give up, even though your teammates, you will literally push each other to the edge to see who can come out on top.
Yeah.
Obviously, was it yourself or Sam that got wide? It was yourself, wasn't it? You went wide.
Yeah, I went wide. Yeah.
Morning, didn't you?
Yeah, I was by that point. I was already scrabbling to try and keep him behind me, and I just got the power on a little bit too early, thinking I was a bit further around the corner than I was, because I think the wing I was running was a bit lower in the end. From the sounds of it, I was running a bit lower wing than Steve, but Sam was running the lowest wing of all. But I seemed to be getting a decent drive through there. So it was just one of those things that it happened, and we'll race another day.
And then you got the clitter clatter of the last two corners, which were me and Peter surprised didn't break anyone's car at any point tonight, considering how hard you was hitting it. And
breaking speeds. Cars or breaking wrists or breaking direct drives or whatever. It's the rattle that goes through there. I mean, I did think about maybe just dropping the force on the wheel, or just to be a bit cheaty. But because it does feel a bit like, let's just turn it all down, so it's like I'm just stroking a cat. But I was like, no, just stick it as it is, and you can sort of do as much as you could bear. Is the way I was doing it, because it was Christ, if I could, I think on that last lap or starting the last lap coming through there, you see how airborne Sam's car is.
Yeah.
It's like Jesus. He properly monstered it. Yeah,
But,
it was good fun.
Yeah, good. Anyone you'd like to thank or anything? Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, just everyone made an effort tonight. It was good. It's good to be in the chat with JB, Gary, and Sam. Sort of, working out what we're doing. Obviously, they've got to put up with my youngest talking about whatever she's playing on the computer behind me, which is fun as well. So sometimes they remind me I'm not on mute. But yeah, shout out to them. Shout out to you guys, obviously, for putting this on. Look forward to looking at the broadcast back. Hopefully that was a good show. And get some laughs out of it.
Thank you, Spencer.
Cheers, guys.
Cool. Right. Next one in. If I can press all the right buttons in all the right orders, will be Stephen Lucky Wookie Walker. Good evening.
Hiya.
Hiya. So that was a second in the first race after you decided to go to I don't know, like Miami Beach, I think it was, wasn't it? You went sailing off to grade the kitty litter in the tray to the right. Eh?
Did I finish second? I thought I got 2/3, but
You got
I think
2/3?
you might.
No,
No,
you
you
got
might be
second
right.
and third.
Yeah, you got second and third. Yeah.
Oh, fair cop, Gov. Yeah, all right.
And yeah, that was a bit of a frantic race one from your perspective. It must have been because you had to fight your way back from about 5th or 6th in order to get back to your position.
Yeah, 7th, I think. 7th or
7th,
8th.
right.
I got. While I was unlucky by going off, I thought Spencer was going to go side by side through those quick 2 left-handers. So I just happened to glance in my mirror before I needed to turn in, and second lap cold tires, car just went straight on. Like, I should have just been paying more attention. And I was like, oh my God, just keep it out of the wall, keep it out of the wall. Dropped a gear, booted it, saved it. And then as we went round the hairpin and we went down to that next corner, like, I think Cap, Gary, they went off.
Yeah.
And then I think it was either Simon or Jamie, one of the Hondas, got sideways into the corner. So I just kind of, it was either the first lap or it was either the same lap I went off or it was the next lap. But so I got 3 there, and then I just had to get my head down to try and catch Carl. And then I don't know whether Spencer had a slowdown.
Yeah, he did,
and that's the reason I had to get. Yeah, I thought it was. So I got a bit lucky there. So it kind of balanced out, and then if I hadn't have made the stupid mistakes, I might have been able to stay with Sam, but he was super quick tonight. I don't think I would have beaten him.
He was blistering, yeah. Which race was it where you went off? I think it was turn.
Went off everywhere.
There was one though where you kind of fishtailed it straight across the track, and then drifted it round the next corner, and managed to recover it. And we were saying, how did he manage to not die?
I can't even remember. It's all a blur to me now. So, I know I had some sort of issue in the second race. Basically, I got the slowdown at the hair or the chicane just before the start finish line, and I hadn't got that at any point before today.
Right.
So I was trying to bleed it off, and again, I just braked too early, too late. I don't know what I did, but it just, it went sideways, and it cost me staying with Sam and Spencer in that second race. And then I was going to pit, and if I'd pit, I wouldn't have got the slowdown again. But on the lap before we pitted, I got the slowdown. So that gave Sam like 3-4 second lead.
Right. Yeah.
Had Sam and Spencer not fought for the win, I wouldn't have been able to catch them, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, makes sense.
I would have just matched them for pace. I wouldn't have been able to catch them at all. Maybe a couple of tenths or whatever. I don't know. But so I'm a bit annoyed with myself, but I don't necessarily think I would have finished any higher. I just would have been in the fight, and anything could happen. Like the last lap, if I'd have just drifted a bit wide, I might have been able to go side by side with them, or probably would have gone 3 wide into the hairpin, I think, on the very last lap, because Spencer ran wide, he caught the grass, and I was just so eager to like get the run that I just put the gas on too early, and I caught the grass as well. But overall my pace was okay. I maximised the results. That's all I can do at this stage of the season, consistency. So we'll just see how it goes. And I quite enjoyed the track actually, apart from the stupid slowdown.
And the
But
brutal,
other than that,
and the
yeah, it was
brutal
fine.
curbs.
Yeah, well, I liked throwing it over the curbs. It felt fine. I don't know whether it's the Hyundai or just the setup or it's supposed to be like that. I watched a few real world in cars and they also do it.
Right. Okay.
Maybe not to the extent that we do, but ultimately, yeah, it was quite a good track. It was a good track to race on when we were coming through the field in the first race and when I was overtaking them in the first when I slipped down, and that was some fun. It's just a bigger track in it, so everyone's spread out a little bit more, but it'll be back to absolutely frantic racing next week on the world's worst invented track ever, which I believe is Brands Hatch.
It is, yeah.
Might as well just bomb it.
I told you, Pete.
In fact, I wish
Told
they
you.
wish they had bombed it in the war, and it would never was then rebuilt, so we wouldn't have to faff around driving the world's crappiest track.
So, not a fan then of Brands Hatch?
Absolutely not. No.
Well,
I just think it's terrible. Every corner, long track, short track, the pit lane entry, that'll catch people out. It's just, I hate it.
Spencer's busy
Yeah,
posting
I can
messages
see.
of your
So I'm
car,
laughing at.
like airborne, like fully all 4 off. And he's just posted one of someone with a wheelbarrow going over a big mound thing, which is hilarious. But yeah, well, we're just watching it on the replay there as well, of your car fully airborne. Fantastic race at Magny-Cours tonight, and I think you've earned your positions tonight, if that makes sense. You've had to fight your way back, and you've had to try and keep up with these two geodesic cars who, I mean, it's the 3 of you again, isn't it? You've been at the front of the field on so many occasions this season. It's brilliant to watch. It really is so engaging. It's great.
Yeah, it's like when we have the reverse grids, it's just frantic because if any of us gets through first and gets a bit of a breakaway, it's going to be difficult to catch them unless they make a mistake. So I cannot tell you the pressure on the start of the second race to try and stay ahead of them or try and keep with them as they progress through. But on the other side, it's really adds a different challenge because obviously that's not really something that we've done before over the seasons until recently. So it's just another skill that like people have to adjust to and learn to. And I think it's, as you can see for this season, I think it's been some of the best racing ever. Obviously we've had standout races in the past, but I feel like this season more often than not is good racing every single place and up and down the grid, and with the more people here, so it's really good for everyone, I think.
No, that's cool. Anybody you want to have a shout out to before we let you go and get some sort of voodoo version of Brands Hatch to stick pins in or something?
Yeah, obviously you guys putting it on. Everyone else for turning up and racing, and Carl for putting up his sessions. Sorry, I mean wobbly. Yeah, it's just great racing up and down. It's good to watch the broadcast back. It's the most fun it's been for me, even though it's the most frustrating at the same time. But racing them two has pushed me to be faster, so I can't moan too much.
Awesome stuff and well said. And congratulations, you're still at the top of the league, Stephen Walker.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Hi, Stephen.
Taters.
Now, Pete, well, now you've kicked him out. Imagine what it was like if we drove for the same team.
Yeah, totally. Dear. I should have introduced him as another Geo driver, shouldn't I? So we've still got some time, so we'll bring in the best of the non-Elantras tonight for your interview pleasure, Russ. Gary Craig.
Good afternoon, Gary.
Hello.
Glad to see you in here again.
I know.
Keep bumping into each other like this. It's weird. So, as Pete has already said, the only man in an Elantra that managed to get his car
Not
in
in
the
the Elantra.
the only man in the not in the Elantra that managed to put his car in the top 5 both races. Was it?
I didn't get in the first race. I had a bit of a wild moment early on in
Oh
the
yeah.
first race.
Yeah, which
somehow
we did witness.
didn't end up in the wall, which was a miracle. But then, yeah, I had a really scruffy first race at the start. But yeah, it is what it is.
So qualifying, you ended up in 3rd. Was that a surprise, or was you expecting it?
No,
Given that we
I
had
had
both
good.
Geos?
I had good pace here, and Spencer had done pretty much no practice, so he was still learning the track in race 2. So
Yeah.
he did really well to get it up to speed because it's a mega difficult track. It's like really rewarding, but it's really you got to be really committed in those fast jumps, the chicane jumps. You'll gain so much time by taking those on the very edge of slowdowns and flight. It takes quite a few laps to get used to that. So the fact that he did in the very short space of time he had is well, it's Spencer, but he did a really good job there.
Yeah, and your starts again. I think both starts generally you took off at Gary's pace.
Yeah, but the trouble is after that, I really struggle on the first lap for tyre warm up, and that was what kind of caused problems in both races. Like Spencer got through and passed me in turn 2 already, and I was just understeering off and haven't let off. And I got behind Cap in race 2, and the guys in front just managed to drive away whilst I was stuck behind Cap. And it's all down to getting my tyres up and not being able to get through the cars in front early enough, because I had the pace to hang with those guys at the front tonight. Which was really frustrating, just doing the same lap times as them, but 5 seconds down the road.
I mean, you had a lot to get through. Obviously, we had the wall of Honda again, the Great Wall of Honda, as Pete likes to call it now. On the start of race 2.
It actually wasn't that so much. I did get through and was not too far behind, but then I got mega sideways in that left-hand sweeping hairpin, and that's when Cap got my up my inside. And it was my own fault there. I just got past Jamie and then went a little bit too hot in there with cold rear tyres.
So how many laps did it take you to warm them up this week, would you say?
I'll tell you when they're warm.
Oh, okay.
Like, no joke. Like my dash after the 20 minutes of race 1 still had the rear tyres at like 60 something degrees, and the fronts were only at 85. And that track was 40 degrees. It's just so difficult to get warmth. It really is.
I mean, we believe that Walk Stephen would be able to teach you how to warm up quickly, as we saw in race 1, where he decided to drift pretty much the whole track.
I could do that for myself, thank you very much. I did that in race 1 too. That's why I was also in 9th place next to him.
Did you see in what fashion he did it though?
I did. I was right behind him when it happened.
Yeah. It was definitely a brown pants moment.
Yeah,
for him.
I had to slow down on the apex into 2 there because he was coming sideways across the track in a cloud of smoke.
And then obviously race 2, we saw you battling with the guys like we said up front, and did you have an off track, or did you get stuck into a corner with Jamie?
Me and Jamie had a few side by sides. Like that Honda was definitely struggling. Like the Elantra was about a 10th quicker through the second corner than I was, and then a little better out of that tight right hand hairpin, and then I was better again than the Honda in those corners. It was really struggling way out. That was quite important part of the track.
Yeah. And then obviously you finished the race in 4th.
Yeah, that second race was really frustrating, doing the same pace as the leaders, just a little bit behind them. No draft, just sat there 5 seconds back, doing the same lap times pretty much. Yeah, I should have been there in the draft. I would have been right on it. It was just a little bit frustrating.
And then I don't know if you saw the excitement of Mr. Mannering behind you. We've now found out what he did wrong, Pete.
No, go on.
He decided not to put crew chief on. So when he pitted, he didn't take fuel.
Okay, I didn't realise. I saw on YouTube chat there, somebody's mentioning a 5-second pit stop for him, but I didn't realise that they just buffed the window up and let him go.
Yeah, he decided not to bother pitting, fueling, went back out, and then realised he hadn't turned crew chief on, so he had to pit again to take the fuel he needed.
Yeah, they only got to buff the window, stuff a burger through the window, and then set him on his way.
Yeah.
So that would explain his 39-point score in that race instead of him and Carl were behind me when I'd got through. I was a little surprised Cap wasn't there. I didn't realise he had problems.
Yeah, so next time you speak to him, you can give him as much abuse as possible for not turning the app on and also relying on such an app every week.
Yeah, I've got 3 in the roll wrong. I took too much fuel. The fuel calculators that I've got really struggle with the heat races. It doesn't tell me how much I need at all. I have to work that out with the calculator to start, and then it's well after halfway into the race before it even lets me know what I might need on one of the 3 that I use. It really struggles with this heat format.
And in these races, obviously after the pit, it's ideal to get the right amount of fuel, isn't it? So you can maximise that pace at the end with the tyres being let's say the better part of the track, the better part of the race, which is later on.
Yeah, I ended up with 2 litres, taking 2 litres more than I should have, which doesn't sound like much, but it's probably an extra second stationary. It's and every little bit helps in this league.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Gary. Is there anyone you want to, any special shout outs or anyone you want to say thank you to?
Yeah, same as ever, really. It's everyone except for Wobbly.
Well, his carer's been on the phone.
You're his carer, Pete.
I'm not his carer. I'm not taking responsibility for that thing. After they got the crayons out of his mouth, like I said at the beginning, they said it'd be good if you could wish him happy 40th birthday.
40th? Oh dear. I know he's actually younger than that, but he's probably got COVID again, has he, for the 7th time this week?
7th COVID, yeah. Crazy. Anyway. But one thing, Brands Hatch Indy, love that.
I mean, I would happily come back to this track every race again for the rest of the season. It's so rewarding. It's such a fun track to drive, and it's mega rewarding. It's quite difficult to race on because it's quite hard to pass, but just give me this track every week.
Fair enough.
You're the only person that would actually say that.
I don't think Tony agrees. Looking at what he's mentioned in a different chat.
Right, not his favourite then. No.
I couldn't repeat it because I would have to apologise for saying fuck too many times.
Sorry, okay. Yeah, it's like Wobbly's still here. We'll see you next time out at Brands Hatch then, Gary Craig.
It's okay. Nobody listens this late in the broadcast.
Oh, good.
Cheers.
Wow.
Right, so we've touched on it before. Next time out will be at Brands Hatch as we watch Matt Elmore's car nearly flip onto its side. And I need to remind everybody that the V8 returns to your screens on the 4th of February. The next season, season 13, starts in a fortnight's time. If you want a place in that field, then sign up while there's still the opportunity to. It'll be like last time, a massive surge of sign-ups towards the last minute. And it's going to be another blast of a league, Saturdays, that are roughly every 2 or 3. We try and avoid all the big events, like the Daytona 24, which is why it's starting on the 4th of February. Magny-Cours has been brilliant, but we do need to pick out our driver of the evening. So, did you say you'd already made your decision?
No.
Oh, right.
I'm still sat at the same 5 people as I was sat at the first time. And to be honest, I nearly just said Matt Flannery. Just for sheer crack that that's not track.
No, it has to be someone that's actually driven. So.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
So, go on.
I don't know. Have you got one already?
Ish.
It's quite tough around this track to pick one person because there's a lot of people did some decent driving.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fair few people that did the excellent crashes that we saw. Mr. Littler being the main one who decided to flip his car and then still continue to race, which
I know, that's legendary, that.
a salute to him for that. If you know you're going with, I'll let you go first, otherwise we're going to be here till midnight at this rate.
Yeah, well, I think Gary deserves an honourable mention for getting that Veloster into a high point scoring position on a number of occasions tonight. Jamie Wilson didn't do too bad in the northern half of the Great Wall of Honda. Who else? We had Jack James in his first race has done very well. But I think I can't ignore Sam Blease and winning twice and all the things that he's helped other people out with and airborne to a degree that can only he's more a pilot than a driver, to be fair, tonight. So I'm going to go with Sam Blease for once. I'm going to vote for the winner.
That's fair enough, because one of the 5 I was mentioning before, and so when I said can I pick multiple, I was just going to say the S's to you.
Yeah, all 3.
So my vote goes to the S's. Simply because how the end of that race went. I mean, we had action throughout both races, but realistically it came down to them last 2 laps where we saw nearly 2 overtakes, bumper to bumper, pushing each other around. It's mad to see that they were still as far forward as they were after all that. Now, I'm not gonna say Sam because you've given him a vote anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's between Stephen's mega drift
and
Spencer's brown pants moment with the wall for me. As you said, there's already an honourable shout for Gary. Another one for Matt for being the silliest person on track, we'll call it.
Yeah.
With his double pit.
And too busy flashing his lights to pay attention to the track. We saw that at least once.
So otherwise he'd have beaten Gary. I'm going to ignore the top 3, actually. I think I'm going to give it to Mr. Hardy.
Really? Wow, okay.
Yeah. This is a difficult track, and I feel like he was pushing the car, trying to gain them extra positions. We've not really given him much in the previous races because there's been a lot of focus on other drivers that have. There's not really one driver that's like that I can pick off the top of my head that I think of straight away. That's that one driver that I want to pick where we've had that easily last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give it Carl just on the merit of his efforts this week. Like he generally had decent pace around here.
No, that's well said. He did have a quiet race in race 1, didn't he? Because he managed to get into a gap in the middle of the field and it seemed drifting around that corner on the replay there. But yeah, that's a vote well placed in my opinion. Nice one. So just leaves us to bring the broadcast to a close now. I'll wish everybody a good evening and a safe week. We will be back at Brands Hatch Indy. And obviously Stephen will be practicing all week for that one. Can't get enough of Brands Hatch Indy, can't Stephen Wookie Walker. So thank you all for watching. Thanks to all the racers for making such an event of it. And congratulations to Sam Blease for a double victory tonight. Over to you, Russ.
Good night, everyone, and good night, Pete.